What is up, fellow sports fans? Sorry to go with the chill look. I tried to go with an epic look. I tried to go with the Tony Joker look. I thought it was super crazy, but I am just not that crazy. I was not able to pull it off, unfortunately, so I had to go with the chill vibes. Alrighty. So, getting into it, there's actually some good matchups this week. Jets Patriots is going to be a good one. I love the Jets. I love what they're doing. In a vacuum, I like the Jets more than the Patriots. They got a good receiving core. Tyler Conklin's been decent. Zach Wilson's my guy, and their defense has been electric. These two defenses are actually tied since week 4, both allowing 15.8 points per game, so stifling defenses. And the Jets just added James Robinson as well, so they have a decent running game, great weapons, and a better quarterback. So, and they got Sauce Gardner. So you'd think the Jets would win, but the Patriots save their big plays for big games. Edelman had a lot of trick plays and cool plays in the playoffs, and this is kind of a playoff game for the Patriots. Jets are 6-3, Pats are 5-4. They'd be tied at 6-4 if the Pats win. It's in Foxborough; they're gonna win. So even though the experts tend to be picking the Jets, there's a reason the spread is New England -3. Patriots are gonna come out on top, as much as I hate to say it. Eagles Colts, not going to be a good one. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni used to coach for the Colts, so he knows the ins and outs of the Colts, and his team is far superior. They have Jonathan Taylor, that's great, but the Eagles have a monster front seven. They already had amazing guys. They've got that beast Jordan Davis, and then they just added Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. Linval was on my Giants. I was very sad when he signed with the Vikings a few years ago. DTs, when they get the big contracts, often doesn't pan out, so he's able to sign as a free agent. Neither of them might not play this week because they were just signed, but still, the Eagles were 8-0 going last week, easily could have won last week, didn't. They're going to be upset and looking to destroy. They're going to destroy. The spread is -7. Let's start doing that. Let's start telling people how to pick a spread. New England -3. That's one I wouldn't bet on the spread. I think it could be a close 3-point game. But if I had to pick on the spread, I guess in that instance, I would still go with New England to beat the spread. And Philly -7, I would take Philly -7 as well. Lions Giants is going to be one of the best 3-6 teams versus 7-2 teams ever. There's a reason it's a Giants -3 spread. I'm going to go into more detail on that in a separate podcast just about my G-Men. Browns, Bills, talking about 3-6 versus a team with a winning record 6-3. That is not as good as it sounds. Bills are -8. They don't have home field advantage because they're going to be in Detroit, but I got to go with the Bills to beat the spread as well. Allen has thrown at least 2 interceptions in 3 weeks in a row. No Bills QB has done that since '85. That is not going to happen. He's not even going to throw an interception. My guy Josh Allen's going to go ham. Nick Chubb is not going to like playing against that ferocious Bills defense. Speaking of ferocious defenses, Rams 3-6 versus Saints 3-7. Spread is New Orleans -3. Now, absolutely put all the money on the Rams. I know the Saints typically play well in the Superdome, but they're actually a little dinged up. Their left guard, Andrews Pete, who's really good, missed last week. Their center, Eric McCoy, is on injured reserve. And their left tackle, James Hurst, is in concussion protocol. So even if Pete and Hurst play, they're going to be dinged up. Aaron Donald is going to destroy them. The Rams won with a backup quarterback last week. So, by the way, I predicted that the Cardinals would beat the Rams because Stafford wasn't playing. No. Predicted that the Rams would beat the Cardinals because Kyler wasn't playing. But then also Stafford didn't play. So Colt McCoy, better backup than the Rams backup. But in this situation, Andy Dalton is a backup and has been horrible recently. So unless Taysom Hill comes out and gets lots of reps, Rams are totally going to win. Definitely take that spread. Bears-Falcons is going to be a fun one. Those teams both love to run the ball. Justin Fields has been incredible recently. Atlanta is a -3 favorite. I would not take Atlanta on this one. I know the Bears just lost Roquan Smith, but I think Fields is electric and has been showing that. AJ Terrell could be coming back, which would be bad news for Chase Claypool. He's also been dinged up, so I don't want to be dinged up and be playing against Chase Claypool. And then if he's lining up on Mooney, then who's going to guard Claypool? I know he's done nothing recently, but apparently this Bears offense is really difficult. And that's what took Fields so long to get the ball rolling. And now that Fields is rolling, they look electric. So it's one of the better 3-7 teams in the league. Khalil Herbert is on the IR, unfortunately. So that makes him a little less dynamic. I really like him. I still got to take the Bears, though. Panthers, Ravens. My guy, Dante Foreman. I've always been a huge fan. I was so pumped for him when I got him as a rookie in fantasy. I actually drafted him and Lamar Miller. I like Lamar Miller. He'd been coming off 4.5 yards per carry the year before. Everyone was saying Lamar Miller's toast. I was like, no, I believe in both of them. I think Lamar Miller was going to be good. I was like, I'm going to go for Lamar Miller, and if he's good, I'm going to ship him and then wait till he gets hurt, and then Foreman's going to kill it. And guess what? Both of them got hurt. And Foreman's been hurt his entire career, but he's healthy and ripping right now. The Ravens haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 18 straight games. And guess what, my friends? Dante Foreman is not going to do that. You thought that was going elsewhere, huh? No, yeah, they're not going to do that. They know that's what's coming. They just stacked their box. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 18 straight games. And it was Dalvin Cook who did it, so someone who's elite in week 9 of 2021. And so they've gone all year without doing that, and now have added, why do I keep saying Patrick Queen? Have now added Roquan Smith. So you got Dante Foreman's not like a super outside runner. He's like a grind through the tackles, 31 carries, big workhorse kind of guy. He is fast, but he's not like electric getting to the outside. So Queen and Roquan in the middle, that's not fun for him. And then Thumper, my Sean Taylor clone, Kyle Hamilton, like, no, Ravens are going to stomp. There's a reason the spread is -13. I don't like betting on games like that. The Ravens could literally be up 21 and then play prevent defense. And then the Panthers could do 10-yard pass to DJ Moore. He breaks a couple tackles and scores a touchdown. So I do think the Ravens are going to win in commanding fashion. They could easily win double digits. I'm just not going to say they're going to win by 2 touchdowns or more. That's kind of a lot to do. Commanders, Texans. Commanders are 5-5. They're pretty good for a 5-5 team. Chase Young is nearing coming back, but they're not going to bring him out for the 1-7 Texans. The Texans love to run the ball. The Commanders have a good front seven. This is not a good matchup for the Texans. Last week, Texans-Giants said it was a good matchup for the Texans. It was going to be a hard-fought game. It's similar to a hard-fought game. They're going to lose. They score 17 points a game with Wentz and 22 points a game with Heineke. Been looking good recently. The Commanders, they just beat the Eagles. They're going to win in decent fashion. The spread here is Washington -3. I would take that. They'll win by at least 5. Raiders, Broncos, 2-7 versus 3-6. Broncos actually have the #1 scoring defense. The Raiders are the only team that's put up more than 307 yards against them. It's because Pat Surtain is locked down, but Davante Adams is the best route runner in the league. So as good as Pat Surtain is, Davante Adams is able to have success against him last time. Josh Jacobs had 144 rushing yards. So, yeah, this does not look good for the Broncos. Jerry Jeudy's not playing. The spread is Denver -3. I'm not taking that. I'm actually taking the Raiders to win outright. Cowboys-Vikings, I already detailed this before. Even though the Vikings are 8-1, just beat the Bills, there's a reason the spread is Dallas -1.5. That Cowboys defense is terrifying. That being said, I looked into it a little bit after the podcast, and Demarcus Lawrence has a foot injury. So if that's more serious than is being led on, and he's questionable, then the Vikings do stand a good chance because it's easier to block Micah Parsons, and they do have a good offensive line. But Dallas just has great players all over that defense. It's going to be too much. They just lost to the Packers in a heartbreaking fashion. Vikings had that momentum. So I know you think they got the momentum, the Cowboys don't, but it's like the Cowboys are a good team. They lost to Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to beat themselves up. They're like, no, we can salvage our season. The NFC East has such a great record. Giants are probably projected to win. Eagles are projected to win. Cowboys are going to keep up and win as well. Bengals, Steelers. Steelers just traded Claypool. They're 3-6 and got worse. Bengals are 5-4 and getting better. Mixon went absolutely crazy the other week with 5 touchdowns. Bengals are definitely going to win. Spread is Cincinnati -4. I would say Cincinnati is likely to do even better than that. And then Chiefs Chargers is a great one. You know how I love those paper teams. Chargers, of course, with someone in every level. They've got Derwin James. They've got Kenneth Murray. They've got Bosa. They've got Khalil frickin' Mack. Like, they've got studs. They're going to put up a fight. It's possible that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back. Sky Moore's not playing. Juju's not playing. So the Chiefs are banged up, but the Chiefs are going to win because it's Patrick Mahomes. Spread is KC -6. I'm not touching this one, but if I had to, I would say to go with the Chargers. They do have the firepower to keep up. All quarterbacks don't like being pressured, and not many people do it better than any Bosa, bro, and Khalil Mack. So that's no fun for them. And then Swiss Army knife, Derwin James. But Pacheco's been running well. I've always loved Jet McKinnon. So I do think the Chiefs come out on top. They're 7-2 for a reason. Pat Mahomes is that guy. And then another good primetime game, Niners and Cardinals in Mexico. We had a great game in Germany last week. Niners are 5-4. Cardinals are 4-6. We all want to talk about how great the McCaffrey trade has been. Very interesting. They scored on 50% of their drives since acquiring McCaffrey, which is the third highest rate in the NFL. They were scoring on 29% of their drives before that. He's been on the field for 7 of their 8 touchdowns since the trade. McCaffrey is clearly making them more dynamic. They get a lot of their yards after the catch with Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Debo. And the Cardinals are one of the worst teams in the league. San Francisco's 4th in the league in yak per game, 1st in yak per reception. Cardinals are most yak per game and yak per reception in the NFL. So my guy Isaiah Simmons is clearly still struggling with his transition to linebacker. He could flash, and maybe Garoppolo just has all eyes for McCaffrey, and Simmons gets a pick 6 like he had earlier this year, but most likely McCaffrey's going to put some moves on him. He's gonna show why he's Christian McCaffrey, and I do think the Niners are going to come out on top. Spread is Niners -8 though. If Kyler plays, I don't like that. I know it's not a home game for the Cardinals. That sucks. It counts as one of their home games, but he historically does well against their defense. They've got a bunch of big boys. He's tiny and can shift around. Eric Armstead is out. Nuke has been on fire. And Hollywood Brown could easily be coming back. So even if McCoy plays, I think they could beat the spread. Division games are always tight. You don't expect a blowout. Like, you really think the Niners are going to win by over 10, especially with them running the ball so much. They're not going to run the ball up. James Conner looked good last week. So also shout out to Benjamin. Sorry you got cut, bro. Hope you're watching this. I don't know why you got cut. I am a James Conner owner. I was bummed how well you were doing. I picked you up in my other league because you were doing so well. You did not deserve to be cut. And now you're on the Texans. Like, oh, man, poor guy. So, yeah, it should be a good week. Really excited. Check out the next pod for my in-depth about the Giants versus Lions.